everyone, and welcome to your journey to joyful living. Today's topic is one that resonates deeply with all of us: how to find joy in the darkest moments. But joy isn't just reserved for the good times, it can be a powerful companion even during life's most challenging chapters. And who better than to guide us through this journey than my incredible co-host, Grace Fraga. Grace is amazing. She's a powerhouse, an award-winning relationship coach, IAP certified, hilarious comedian, absolutely hilarious, and the author of Get This Off My Chest and Breaking Free, a journey of healing from narcissistic abuse. She's amazing. She truly is. She survived cancer, triumphed over narcissistic abuse, and found laughter and love in the most unexpected places. But here's the thing: Grace doesn't just talk about joy, she lives it. So let's dive into this conversation about finding light when all we see around us is darkness. So, ladies and gentlemen, Grace Fraga.
Woo! Hi
Oh,
again.
I know. There we go. Yeah, we'll pretend that you're just walking on. You've been chauffeur driven to the studio. We rolled out the red carpet. We got those guys with the photographs. What are those guys called? It doesn't matter.
Paparazzi.
Yeah. You ever have that? You have a word and you know it and you can't. Yeah, that's me. So, but seriously, Grace, you've been through some incredibly dark moments. You survived cancer. You overcame emotional abuse, and you found your voice after years and years of being silenced. I mean, that is so amazing. But in spite of all that, you radiate joy and laughter and happiness wherever you go. I mean, I just want to go wherever you go so I can always be happy too. I mean, that's I think that's going to be my thing. Like the Grateful Dead, but the Grateful Joyce or the Grateful Grace. There we go. So, but here, seriously, how do you define joy when life feels like it's darkest? How do you personally define joy during these difficult times?
Ooh, well, joy is a choice. Okay. It's choosing to look at the silver lining. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity because that's very annoying. We have to go through the moments of sadness or anger, let the feelings come out, and then you're like, okay, I got that out of the way. Do I want to just be like this for the rest of the day or the week or the month or the year? No. Okay. I'm going to choose joy. And the way to choose joy that I do, and I learned this through my cancer journey, is by waking up and being grateful for things like the simplest things. Like Christy was talking about that too. And, wake up. And sometimes, I'm hurting. I'm like, and I'm like, no. I talk to myself like, no, girl, no. I am grateful for my apartment. I'm grateful that I still have joints, even though they hurt because I'm taking that cancer medication. Like I try to be grateful for everything that I have. And that honestly changes my chemistry. It changes my outlook. And I have a great day. So joy in hard times is like that tiny flame in your rib cage that refuses to go out, even when the whole damn house is on fire. It's not loud and not always sparkly, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's so amazing. So why is it okay? So just for the rest of us, right? So why is it important to seek joy in dark moments? Why does it matter?
Well, because otherwise darkness wins. Okay. Like Christy was saying, we live in a dual world, a duality where we have light and darkness. So what do you want to choose? You want to choose darkness or light? Sometimes we go into darkness, but do you want to stay in the darkness or do you want to get out of the darkness? So that's a choice. And I can say that like during my cancer healing journey, that was very clear. By the way, I'm cancer free. I'm taking a medication to prevent recurrence. So yeah, thank you. So I don't want to scare people like, oh, she has cancer, but no, I don't have it anymore. So I think that, during my cancer healing journey, I was like, okay, I got the diagnosis. I cried my eyeballs out. I was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I might, be out of this world because I was stage 3. So that's like pretty advanced. So I was like, okay, after I cried my eyeballs out, I was like, what am I going to do? I was just, hopeless. And then I was like, okay, Grace, because I talk to myself like that. You
I
can
find that the self is a really good audience and doesn't argue back. Keep going.
It doesn't. So I think it was my higher self, not my ego. My ego was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my breast and then I'm not going to be pretty anymore. So I was like, my higher self was like, honey, let that go. Okay. Do you want to live? I was like, yes. Okay. You have a choice. You can be miserable throughout your chemo, radiation, and surgery, or you can have fun through it. So I chose to have fun through it, which means, having joy as the main actor, the main character, right? That doesn't mean that again, not toxic positivity, because I did look in the mirror at times and I was like, oh my God, I'm bald. I look like a ghost. I have dark circles under my eyes. I gained like 30 pounds. I look terrible. I don't want people to see me like this. And, I would cry it out and then I'd be like, okay, let me find some jokes about this, because I'm a comedian, right? So I wouldn't say let me find some jokes, but then I would automatically switch into the comedian mode, right? And then I would text my best friend who took care of me. I'm like, I would text her something that just happened that day and made fun of it, and she would be like rolling on the floor. Like, I literally have screenshots of the stuff that I texted her for my cancer comedy special, which is going to be called Get This Off My Chest, because I had breast cancer. So yeah, we can choose joy. And I know sometimes it feels like, how am I going to choose joy? I'm going to, I lost my parent. I have cancer. I have an incurable disease. I have this and that. And even through that, you can find joy, believe it or not. And that can actually change the outcome of your life, of the disease, of your grief. Of course, grief, like Christy was saying, grief is like up and down, right? And so you're going to grieve and you're going to go through that. But choose whenever the grief doesn't hit you because it hits you like this, grief, right? Whenever it doesn't hit you like that, just find a moment to bring yourself some joy, whether that is watching a show that you like, or it's going for a walk. Even though doing chemo, I couldn't walk that much. But even if I went downstairs, that for me was like, wow, okay, I made it all the way downstairs. So find something that brings you joy. And that will change your mood. There's Norman Cousins had a book that he cured himself through laughter by watching sitcoms. And that's like, wow, right? It's crazy. So yeah, if you don't want darkness to win, just choose joy. That's all I have to say about that.
That's amazing and so true. And by the way, that can be universally applied to everything. And but here's the thing: the simpler something is, the easier it is for people to misunderstand it. Which brings up this question that I have: is like, and you've seen people do this. What's the difference between authentic joy and masking pain with forced happiness? You've seen this, right? So
Oh,
what's the
yes.
difference between these
Well,
two?
to me, authentic joy says, I see the pain and I choose to breathe anyway. Forced happiness says, smile and pretend this dumpster fire is a candlelight dinner. So we do that, right?
Yeah, that's a great image. Sorry, yeah, just
Thank you. And that's what toxic positivity is. It's not good, because then you go, oh yeah, it's just a candlelight dinner. It's not a dumpster fire. I'm not gonna do anything about it. It's gonna no, you gotta acknowledge the situation before you can find the joy. So authentic joy basically is freedom, and the forced happiness, is emotional denial.
that's amazing. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but that's also the secret to bravery, right?
Really?
Bravery is taking the step forward anyway. You could be scared all crazy, right? I mean, anything looks overwhelming, but you close your eyes, take that step forward, and it looks like you did that. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
You are right. I never thought about that, because actually I'm kind of like a chicken, because I don't do like risky stuff. But when facing a situation like cancer, I'm like so brave. And it's
Right.
because of that. You're right. Oh my goodness. Boom. Moment of brightness. Thank you, Carlos.
Well, thank you. I'm more than just another pretty face, right?
Yes, you are actually.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Forced joy to me, Carlos, is that
Yeah.
toxic positivity nonsense where someone just tells you, just be grateful while you're drowning. It's like, acknowledge that you're drowning, try
Right.
to save your ass, bring yourself to the shore or ask for help if you can't swim. And then be like, okay, now you can say, I'm grateful that I could
Right.
get to the shore or somebody help me. But yeah, you have to acknowledge, that's the most important thing. Acknowledge the situation. Look at
Right.
it dead in the face. And it's like, okay, I see you. I have cancer. Or, my parent passed away. Just look
Right.
at it in the face, cry, get all the feelings out. We need to just crying is very cathartic. So just cry as much as you can. And I'm a big proponent of
Yeah.
crying.
I'm crying right now on the inside, but
Right. Just bring the tears down, right? So I think that real joy brings snacks for the pain and lets it cry in peace.
yeah,
That's what.
no, that's amazing. It's sometimes, Grace, when we've talked or whatever, I don't know what to say next because what you said was just so awesome. So it's true. You've seen me do
Stop
this. I'm like,
it.
and you're thinking that I'm being thoughtful. It's like, no, I just don't know what to say because that was awesome. But
Oh, you
um,
are so sweet. Yeah,
no,
this is, guys,
it's
when two
true.
Leos are in a stream, they just tell each other really sweet things.
But we actually mean them, though. That's the
Yeah.
difference,
Oh
right?
yeah. No, I don't tell. I'm terrible at flattery. Like, if I tell you something, believe it, because I mean it.
Right. No,
Totally.
and that's again another thing about that about you bringing joy because you have to be um, you have to be authentic and absolutely. So you mentioned a couple of things that we can kind of circle back to, but how can laughter become a lifeline when you're facing personal hardship? I mean, how um, in simplest terms, how can that be a lifeline?
Well, I think laughter disrupts trauma's regularly scheduled programming. It kind of comes, yeah, right? It comes to you and it's like, come on,
There we
wake
go.
up, let's just get out of it. It really gets you out of just falling into a spiral, because we can fall into a spiral of depression. That's one
Hmm.
thing that I'm always, and I'm not saying, a lot of people have chemical imbalances, and I truly understand that. We all have some kind of chemical imbalance in us. But, if you don't suffer from depression per se, but you feel like you're depressed, then definitely just laugh. Just call a funny friend, watch a funny show, scroll through TikTok. That's what I do. I did through my cancer journey. I was like scrolling to the point where I got like arthritis on my thumb. I was scrolling
And
so
no,
much.
you didn't have to worry about cancer because now you got a new problem, arthritis. So yeah, there we go.
That's right. Much better problem to have, let
Yeah,
me tell
I
you.
agree. I agree.
But when you laugh, Carlos, even for 1 second, you break the loop of suffering. You shift that energy and you reclaim the joy in the face of chaos. And that's not silly. That's spiritual warfare in glitter combat boots.
Oh, that's amazing. By the way, the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit is exactly about that concept. Sometimes, laughter is the only weapon you have. It can
Absolutely.
save your life. So that's amazing. So Um,
Absolutely.
I'm always so impressed with you. So I'm having that moment again that's going to happen a lot. Anytime we work together, it's like, oh, Carlos is being thoughtful. It's like, no, Carlos is just blown away. So,
Well, you're doing the same to me. You've always done that. Like, we're each other's like sensei.
ooh, I've never been called a sensei before. I like
Yeah,
that. I
we're
like
each
it.
other's senseis, I
There we
think.
go.
I
There we
really
go.
feel that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Of
So,
course.
um, we could talk about this for like the rest of my life, but I'll pay attention to our scheduled time here. But
Oh no, it's
so,
totally cool. I'm also watching because I'm engineering and being a speaker. So
yeah,
because I'm
I got two
crazy.
timers on. Trust me.
I love that. Thank you.
But
Thank you.
so practically speaking, right? Practically speaking, what are some simple everyday tools that we can use to find joy during our struggles?
Green tea, good
Ooh.
music, dance breaks, petting dogs, sending memes to people who deserve better. You know,
Probably not at work, but yeah, okay.
yeah, totally. No, I know. Uh, joy, Carlos, joy is like in the simple things, like clean sheets bring me joy, and the smell of cinnamon, or the smell of a good food that I'm cooking, and um, it's saying no like a full body exhale, right? It's yeah, like no, this
Yeah,
doesn't bring me joy, so no, back off. It's walking barefoot in grass and remembering, hey, I'm still here.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
very big one, right? It's like,
yeah.
especially if you face death, it's like I faced it because there's a possibility, right? When you go through the treatment and stuff in stage 3. And I would be like, okay, am I breathing? Am I alive? Okay, good, good. So I'm, where I want to be at this moment. Uh, I would say, stop hunting for the big joy. Like, oh, when I make it, or when I get all this money, I'm going to be happy. My mom suffered from that and she
Oh,
was never happy. So I think that micro joys are everywhere and they're way less emotionally needy than your ex.
yeah. I don't know about you, but did everybody who's watching all of a sudden picture that X and the reason why they're an X? Did that just happen to everybody?
Bye
So
bye.
it's like,
Adios. I
oh,
love Christy. Thank you, Christy.
yeah.
Love feet in the grass. Those are great things. Yes, because grounding is a thing. And let me explain real quick. The We are electromagnetic beings. What they call aura is actually our electromagnetic energy, and it goes like this in two
Mhm.
circles, right? The heart is electric. The heart doesn't, it's not a muscle. No, nothing is moving it. It's the electricity from our own electromagnetic energy that's moving the heart. That's sidebar. So when you are barefoot and touch the earth also has electromagnetic energy. So that energy goes up your feet and charges you. Or even hugging a tree if you don't want to put your feet on the grass. Hug a tree. And I know it sounds super new agey, but I'm bringing you the scientific backup. The earth, again, has electromagnetic energy. That electromagnetic energy is taken by the tree. And if you hug it, you get that energy from the tree. That's why eating plants is better than eating meat, because plants are alive and they have electromagnetic energy, whereas meat is not alive. So that's why definitely include more veggies in your diet, guys. Veggies and fruits. That's just me.
Mhm.
Because it's so important to recharge yourself. But anyway, we went through to the vegan side of the world, but let's
Well,
go
that's
back
okay.
to
That's an
joy.
important that's an important thing. You said something, I know it's not exactly in the script here, but you said something about saying no, right?
Yes.
That sounds like a fantastic stream topic, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. How to say
Right?
no when
How to say, yeah. The only time that they can't say no is when we actually invite them to attend. Then they have to say yes. But then after that,
right. How
yeah,
to say no without the guilt and the shame or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, that would be a great
exactly.
topic. Thank you, Carlos. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it.
It's as soon as you said no, it's like, yeah, that's because let's face it, we get our butts kicked because we're taught, nah, if you say no, you're selfish, you're this, you're that. And it's like, no.
The opposite. You're loving yourself, and loving
Yeah.
yourself is number one, because how can you love others if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
Period. Right?
Exactly, exactly. By the way, you set up the next question beautifully. By the way, you're automatically just awesome just by being here. So, speaking of this, how can someone create a joy ritual to keep their spirit uplifted? Because it's one thing to do the things we mentioned before, but how do you ritualize this so that it stays and it becomes permanent?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, make that ritual yours. Make it weird. Make it delicious. Light that candle. Yeah. Say a mantra in the mirror with your best Beyonce face. Like, I do that a lot. Like, you're amazing. Look at you, girl. Like, yeah, I'm like so into looking in the mirror. I don't know. There's something about the mirror. I'm not sure if we access some kind of dimensional, uh, you know, uh, other us version of us or something, but it is so good and it's not crazy. I talked to my therapist. It's not crazy. It's actually very smart to do
I
that.
talk to my mirror all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it doesn't talk back. Hi, Marcia. Hi, good to see you. She's going to be one of the speakers later on. She's amazing. She's also a good friend of mine. Uh, so another thing you can do a shimmy every time someone tries your patience and you don't curse them out. Like, woo, I did that. Curse them out. I do that all the time in traffic. How about you, Carlos?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In traffic, in meetings. But you have to be subtle when you do it in a professional environment, but I still do it. There's a tiny little just shoulder movement that I have, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm like, no, and sometimes I'm in traffic and I'm like,
Yeah.
I drive carefully. You're doing crazy stuff. Like I'm
Mhm.
kind of like, shifting the energy so I don't curse them because you're literally cursing because you're just sending that energy to them. So I stop that energy like I do it myself.
Mhm.
And then I send them good energy, even though
Right.
they were annoying or they hit me sometimes,
Right.
I've had 2 accidents last summer, the stupidest accidents ever. One, I was parked and somebody hit me because they miscalculated like parking in front of me. What?
Well, no, I read about that one. So the guy was trying to your energy was so brilliant that he had to make a connection, and he was too far away to run to you, so he used his car.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one, let me tell you, this rich guy, right? I was at a light in Beverly Hills and he hits me. And so he's like, oh, don't worry about the insurance, blah, 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 blah. Then he ghosts me, right? I was dumb. I should have, whatever. And so I finally made it so that his insurance said, because I had screenshots of our texting, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know her. That never happened." I said, "Oh, really? Oh, really? Don't mess with me, because let me tell you, I'm a Leo, but I don't get mad. I get even.
Yes.
I do. It's like with the law too, because I have some Libra in my chart, so it's with the law. So I was like, I was mad. Let me tell you, I had to like stop myself from thinking about this guy, and I told his insurance, and he confessed to, yes, that was me. And because he could have been charged with a felony.
Yeah, it's hit and run. If he
Yeah.
left, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, sidebar. But yeah, that was a hard one to bless him. But I
Right.
did. I did.
Right.
It was because you can get into a spiral of anger,
Right.
right? Like
Right. Well, also too, if you don't reframe it,
right,
then your ego's in the picture, and
right.
whenever your ego gets in there, it's it's always a thing. So speaking of reframing, man, you're amazing with the setup. We should be a volleyball team, man. I swear, it's
We
like
should do a podcast together. We should co-host a podcast.
we should. That way, we can have fun and be joyful and make people say, "What did those two do again?"
Yeah, like 2 Leos walk into a stream.
Oh, I thought you were going to say two Leos walk into a bar.
No, 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 no. I don't drink anyway,
There
so
we go. No, it's just the setup. So speaking of setups, I guess I better get back on the thing here. So this is actually one of the most brilliant things that I've heard you talk about before, and so I'm going to ask it in the form of a question here. How can people reframe painful experiences to uncover hidden blessings?
how can people
How can people reframe? So how can you reframe something that's happened to you, a painful experience, to uncover the hidden blessings?
well, first of all, ask yourself, what did this nonsense make me, right? Now, what did I lose? But what did I gain in wisdom, boundaries, and I will never do that again energy? So there's always a hidden blessing in everything. And at the moment, it doesn't feel like, cancer, a blessing since when? But as I reflect back on my cancer healing journey, for example, or you reflect back on whatever event happened to you that was terrifying or horrible, then you go, oh, but you know what? Now I'm a better person for it. I learned this, and that. Like I learned how to appreciate life, how to celebrate the small wins, how to appreciate every little thing that I have in this life, which I'm not taking with me when I pass away. So it's like, oh, I have this at this very moment. It's exactly what I need. Thank you, universe, or thank you if you believe in God and Allah, whatever you believe in. Just thank that all that is, that creation itself. And yeah, pain is a terrible roommate, but a brilliant teacher, I have to say.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, oh man, I could do this with you all day. We got to do a marathon
I
just on
know.
this one,
But
right?
let me add one more thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes your breakdown is just your soul saying it's time to redecorate in here. When you
Yeah.
reframe, you turn trauma into compost.
Oh,
And honey,
exactly.
you are the flower blooming out of all that mess.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Fertilizer is needed for growth. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We
So,
have
gosh, there's
one more.
so much I want to ask you, but I'm going to ask you this one last one here.
Yes.
Um, gosh, these are such good questions. Let me go with, oh, let's do this one. What is one belief you let go of that opened the door for more joy in your existence and in your life?
One belief that opened the door. Um, well, I think that the belief is that this is not all there is in this life, right? We live in this 3D cube, right? With time and space, and time is not real.
Mhm.
As the quantum physics has proven, right? There is no time. Space is relative. There are other dimensions that have more, they're like 5D or 6D or whatever. And so this is not all there is. And so if you look at the big picture, like, okay, this is not all there is. Should I focus on my, you know, body, how I look, how other people see me, like all like three-dimensional kind of thoughts, which keep you in this cube? Or should I get out of the cube and be like, okay, how about what is my purpose in this life? What am I here to do? What is my mission? And once you have that umbrella, I call it the umbrella of the purpose, because once you have that umbrella, everything is tainted by that. So if I teach swimming, for example, if I teach swimming, I'm with a kid and I'm like, I am here to make sure this child is water safe and doesn't drown. Boom. That's what I'm here
Boom.
for. So I'm not focused on the vanity aspect of life, which is very three-dimensional. I'm focusing of what did I come here to do? Because we all came here with a mission, whether it's good or bad. Good or bad is actually a judgment in this reality, because in the all that is, there's no good or bad. There's just is, right? But whatever you came here to do, even if it's to disrupt people or to hurt people, there's always a lesson in that. And there's always, um, you know, something that will come out of it that's good. It depends how you see it and how you take that reality into your reality. Like their reality, doesn't have to affect your reality
Right.
when it's negative, because we create our own reality. So it depends how we see things from the inside out. So what comes from the outside in really doesn't matter. So I think that two things are living from the inside out and knowing your purpose.
Awesome. Awesome. There's a question. Do we have time for a question in the chat?
Yes, actually, let's and India, hi India. I'm
India.
so happy you're here. Thank you for being here. We love you. I don't know you, but I already feel a connection with you. You're just a sweet, sweet soul. And she says, I have a question. How important is it to trust your gut? And have you had an experience where trusting your gut benefited you? Oh, yes. Trusting your gut. They say that the heart has intelligence and the gut has intelligence. It's a whole microbiome. So when you feel something in your gut, like, ooh, something is not right, trust it because it knows. I have done that many times and I didn't listen most of the time. Now I learned to listen. Whenever I get that, ooh, it's like, uh-oh, okay, body, I hear you, microbiome. I hear you, gut. What's happening? Yeah, like, and so yeah, definitely trust your gut. I'm trying to think of um when it benefited me. It probably got me out of really dangerous situations. I was on a date and I went to his place. He was cooking for me and he date raped me. Yes, and I didn't trust my gut. there because I obviously didn't listen to my gut. But then how I got out of his place, I trusted my gut. I was like, okay, like almost like survival mode, trust your gut. So I recommend don't get to that point. Just I knew something was wrong with this guy because he was a little bit of a sociopath. And you know the story, Carlos. I've
Yeah.
told you the story. You know it. And
Yeah.
so he was a sociopath, a dangerous, violent one. And I knew something was not right. And I didn't listen to my gut because he was going to cook me dinner. And I am a foodie. So I was like, well, let's see if he can cook.
Yeah.
Dumb, dumb, dumb. Don't do that. Don't yet. If your gut is saying no, listen. And even if you don't know why, just get out of that situation, get out of that place, listen to your gut. That would be my advice, India, for sure. All right. I think we're out of time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but these are
But
such amazing questions. And to be fair, this conversation has been nothing short of empowering. So you've shown us
oh,
that joy isn't just something that happens to us, it's something that we can create, even when things are in the darkest moments. But you personally, with your sense of humor, your strength, and your heart, you remind us all that we're all capable of finding our way out of the darkness and then the shadows. And to be fair, for everyone who's watching, please know this. Joy isn't about avoiding life's crazy storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. By the way, I have a song called "The Rain" about that same idea.
I love it.
But finding beauty when it even feels impossible or hard, and being grateful and being humble. And so, Grace, where can people connect with you to continue learning and laughing with you? Or are you going to
Well,
say that later?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Please subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't subscribed, and make sure you like, comment, and share for this streamathon to help me grow this channel and help others. Okay. When you subscribe, we grow the community. And I have very cool videos. I have really cool guests. I have great comedy. So you get notifications for the channel. And just it's just a overall fun, joyful channel. So no
You
toxic
are.
positivity though.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You walk your talk when it comes to life and joy. I
Yeah.
mean, you were saying, what was it? Time, space. I think we should change that to time, space, and grace.
I love that. I love it. Thank you so much, Carlos.